Happening now, a Jamestown family is pleading for your help.
Please come forward. We need, somebody knows something.
Seeking answers about what happened to their loved one found dead last month downtown. And a look at the push to gather funding to help bring down vacant and condemned homes locally. Plus, a new playground is coming to Lakewood.
We're just getting started, too.
We detail the story behind this project.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
Thank you for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. An accused Jamestown drug dealer has pled guilty to selling fentanyl, which led to a fatal overdose in 2020. The U.S. Attorney's Office says 30-year-old Garson Butcher entered the guilty plea Wednesday. He was charged by the DEA with assistance from Jamestown Police federally with distribution of fentanyl causing death, narcotics conspiracy, and using and maintaining a drug-involved premises. Between March 2020 and June of 2021, Butcher was accused of working with co-defendant Alicia Senti of selling heroin, fentanyl, and methamphetamine. In March of 2020, one of the Butcher's customers, identified only as TR, overdosed and died from the drugs sold. Furthermore, prosecutors said that the heroin is responsible for other non-fatal overdoses as well. Sentencing is scheduled for next spring. The charges carry a maximum penalty of 20 years in prison and a $1 million fine. Charges do remain pending against Alicia Senti. Well, a Jamestown family is pleading for your help as they try to figure out what happened to their loved one who was found deceased in downtown Jamestown last month. Our Alyssa Wright shares their story.
A passerby discovered 51-year-old Clarence Kowalski Jr.'s remains in downtown Jamestown back on October 17th. Kowalski reportedly signed himself out of a downstate rehab facility in August. His sister, Christine McCallie, says that this was the last time she spoke with her brother.
I talked to him 2 days before him leaving rehab, and he was fine. Everything was great.
According to McCallie, Kowalski was notified just days before his disappearance that he would not be going to a long-term facility as he was scheduled to. The family believes this stress could have had a toll on their loved one.
He was looking forward to going to Eden. They were going to move him to a long-term facility in Eden, New York. She had called and told him that he wasn't going to be moving on the 16th as planned. That he would have to stay there longer.
The Jamestown native was in the process of getting clean, and his family was proud.
Knowing that he was doing so well and that he was actually happy, seeing himself clean and seeing relationships starting to rekindle, and it's devastating.
The family now simply wants closure to find out what exactly happened to Clarence Kowalski.
Please come forward. This is part of our closure. We need, somebody knows something. We're more concerned on when he got out here, what happened and why.
Investigators urge anyone with information on Kowalski's death or how and when he arrived in Jamestown to contact them at 716-483-TIPS 8477. Alyssa Wright, WNY News Now.
Alyssa, thank you. Police have not ruled out a drug overdose. However, officials have not released a cause of death. Those with Jamestown City Council are still trying to figure out what to do with their dwindling ARPA funding. Now, officials are considering allocating some money to demolish dilapidated and condemned buildings. Through a resolution allocating $1 million in American Rescue Plan Act funding, the city of Jamestown, in tandem with the Chautauqua County Land Bank, would be able to start an initiative to demolish dilapidated homes. As is, the city demolishes only a handful of properties each year, with each demolition costing tens of thousands of dollars. Recently, the Land Bank has had problems with funding themselves, which worried Finance Chair Kim Eklund. While not against demolition, she would rather seek alternatives than the Land Bank. In the end, Council President Tony Dole sees this as an opportunity for the city to get some real work done here.
My stance on this, I don't care who does it or how you pay for it. It's got to get done. This is our opportunity. If we don't spend the money on this one way or the other, whichever the best way to go is, that's fine. But this is our one-time opportunity, instead of tearing down 5, 7, 8, 10 houses a year, to really make a dent and get some of these properties out of the way. So it really just comes down to how you want to pay for it.
Other council members add that rundown properties could also be the target of unwanted vagrants, squatting, and even worse, foster crimes like arson. Well, a Jamestown teacher is walking the extra mile, over 60 specifically, to the Buffalo Bills Stadium as part of a fundraiser for local youth this weekend. Collaborative Children's Solutions owner Patrick Smeraldo plans to take on an impressive feat to fundraise for two worthy causes: Harrison Playmakers and the Stone family's annual foster care drive. This year, the Stones are building birthday boxes for children in foster care, which will be donated to court-appointed special advocates, CASA, of Chautauqua County. Furthermore, Smeraldo has partnered with former Buffalo Bill, now Minnesota Vikings, Harrison Phillips to raise money for his nonprofit, which gives kids with developmental disabilities and special needs the opportunity to play sports and share experiences they otherwise would not have.
You guys can donate to help, sponsor him on this 3-day walk in the cold Western New York to get to the stadium in time for the game. And again, raise a great cause for my foundation, Harrison's Playmakers. They're saying to welcome me home by donating $9.97. So you got the 99 in there, and you got the 97 in there.
This is not the first time Smeraldo has walked great distances to raise money. In August of 2021, he walked around Chautauqua Lake as part of a summer camp fundraiser. To learn more about donating, head online to ccsolutions716.com. Great to see our friend Patrick Smeraldo doing some incredible work there in the community. However, come this weekend, I know he will have a little precipitation possibly to get through, or in some cases, maybe a lot of it. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us now. It's beautiful outside, so we're going to have to take it while we can.
Yes, I mean, this beautiful weather that we've had over the past 4 or 5 days, it continues through today, but today's the last day. And this is the Randolph Peaches and Cream Sky Cam showing you nothing but blue skies out there with the sun peeking through right up there. And this is the high-res satellite imagery again, not really showing you a cloud in the sky across the southern tier or northwestern Pennsylvania today. But the clouds are going to be on the increase this evening as clouds from Nicole start to stream in, and that's going to bring rain through tomorrow. 60 was the high yesterday, started the day at 43, 72, and 10 are the records. So through the afternoon, just another day of bright sunshine. It's copy-paste type of weather, but it's warmer today, 65 to 71, and the breeze is up as well. Could be looking at wind gusts around 30 miles an hour. But tomorrow it all goes downhill. We've got heavy rain tomorrow, then it turns colder and maybe some snow for the weekend. We'll talk about it with the Ultimate Satellite Solution 7-day later in the show. Justin.
All right, Dakota, thank you very much for that. We'll see you back in just a little bit. As we continue, the latest on a fire that heavily damaged a garage in northern Chautauqua County. And later, an update on election 2022 results as we're breaking down big races both here in New York and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Stay with us.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Looking for a fair and honest auto mechanic? Look no further than DeWias Auto Service. Located at 140 Main Street in Randolph, our family-owned business is ready for all of your automotive needs. From general service to more complex repairs, count on DeWias Auto to keep you on the road. We not only keep your cars running smoothly, but also looking great with our expert detailing crew. Send us a message on Facebook or call us today at 716-358-2292 to set up an appointment. DeWias Auto Service. Fair, honest, and the best prices guaranteed.
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
An investigation is underway to determine what sparked a garage fire in northern Chautauqua County. On Wednesday afternoon, several area fire crews responded to the lakeside community of Sunset Bay. The Sunset Bay Fire Company found heavy fire fully engulfing a garage attached to a single-family home on Breeze Avenue. While luckily no injuries were reported, the structure did sustain heavy damage as a result of the blaze. Luckily, the fire was contained to only the garage there. A Chautauqua County man faces several drug and weapons charges following a traffic stop and subsequent narcotics investigation this week. The sheriff's office arrested 27-year-old Alexander Latta on Tuesday after he was pulled over for an alleged traffic infraction on Burton Road in the town of Ripley. Inside his vehicle, police allegedly recovered 70 grams of meth, a digital scale, and over $1,400 in cash. In addition, investigators later executed a search warrant at his Potter Road home in the town of Chautauqua. That's where deputies say they recovered an assault rifle featuring a high-capacity magazine. Latta faces several charges, including criminal possession of a weapon and controlled substance. A passenger in his vehicle, identified as 31-year-old Megan Herman, was also charged with criminally using drug paraphernalia. Well, as ballots are still being counted in some New York State counties, we're breaking down highlights from the election night and what the returns are showing us today. Our New York Capitol correspondent Elise Klein continues our team coverage.
On election night, the vote returns came in hot for the governor's race. Throughout the evening, Kathy Hochul led in the polls, according to the New York State Board of Elections. She declared victory around midnight and emphasized that her reign as governor would keep New Yorkers safe and protect their fundamental rights, including women's right to an abortion.
Tonight, you put your faith in me, and I will never let you down. Never let you down, New York. Thank you for your love and your support. Together, we're moving upward.
Her opponent, Republican Congressman Lee Zeldin, did not concede last night.
At one point, the race says that we were down 30-something, and then it became 20-something, and then it's 15, and now it's under 10. We have been crushing the Election Day vote all across the entire state.
A little before 2 p.m. Wednesday, Zeldin conceded, but in statement said the mission to save our state continues. In addition to the governor's race, Attorney General Letitia James continues to hold her lead today with a few hundred election districts to be counted, and Comptroller Thomas DiNapoli also still leads in his race. Moving forward, there are a little over 900 election districts still to be reported to the New York State Board of Elections. And once all those votes are counted, there will be a complete recanvass of all votes on Election Day and all valid absentee, special, and provisional ballots, according to the New York State election law. New York State election law requires a recanvass before any results can be certified. In a general election like this one, it can take up to 25 days to officially certify results. In Albany, Elise Klein, WNY News Now.
Elise, thank you. Meanwhile, in Pennsylvania, Democrats closed out election night with some major wins there, capturing races for U.S. Senate and Pennsylvania governor. Both John Fetterman and John Shapiro brought it home for the Democrats in the Commonwealth's top two state races. However, Democrats' success may expand beyond the U.S. Senate and governor's mansion and into the lower chambers of the PA General Assembly. The House Democratic Campaign Committee held a press event in Philadelphia yesterday saying they're confident Democrats will control the House in Harrisburg next year. A House Republican spokesperson told our news partner WNY News Now that it's premature for Democrats to claim a victory or majority in the House, and added that they're still looking at several races. They are waiting for additional numbers to come in. Now, 8 state House races are still too close to call. Republicans did maintain control in the state Senate there. Well, this weekend is expected to be a busy one across Lake Erie's wine community. It's Harvest Wine Weekends. It's the second weekend in a row where local wineries will prepare food and wine to highlight the different blends they have. And while that's all going on all throughout the month of November, Johnson's Estate Winery in Westfield, they're honoring veterans and active duty military members with a free wine tasting. It's the oldest estate winery here in New York. Owners Fred and Jennifer Johnson will also donate $2 each time a dry red wine bottle is sold. It will go towards the EOD Warrior Foundation. The Johnsons want to honor their family ties to the Navy.
We also remember my father, who founded the winery and who was also a naval aviator in the Second World War. And coincidentally, on Veterans Day 1944, he single-handedly sank a Japanese destroyer, for which he was awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross.
Wow, what a hero. The photo of Fred's father is posted here. Fred and Jennifer's son is also in the Navy and right now stationed overseas. The freebies for vets and those on active duty is a way Johnson Estate Winery is honoring veterans this November. Of course, Friday is Veterans Day. Well, coming up, our Washington, D.C. correspondent is explaining why a Supreme Court case might impact sovereignty for some tribes across the nation. How could that tie to Western New York? And a look at construction, which is underway on a new playground in the village of Lakewood. We're hearing from those behind the project. But first, when we come back, Dakota here with a full look at our weather forecast. It's certainly a beautiful day out there.
With coverage that matters. This is WNY News Now.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
There are two silver linings here. One, that no injuries were reported, and two, they were able to contain the fire from spreading further.
Western New York has a new congressional member representing them.
One of the things that made Betty White so unique was the fact that she connected generations of fans throughout the decades. Take a look at the display here.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Walking from Jamestown to Orchard Park is a long trek, but when rallying for a good cause, anything is possible. Starting on November 11th, I'm walking over 60 miles to the Buffalo Bills Stadium, raising money for two great causes, Harrison's Playmakers and foster care in Chautauqua County. Learn more about my journey and to donate at ccsolutions716.com.
Fast, accurate, and every day. First Defense Weather.
Welcome back, everybody. And we showed this yesterday, but wanted to bring it back because we added another above average day to the calendar, which was, of course, yesterday. 52.4 degrees is the average temperature throughout the month of November. That's almost 10 degrees above normal, and we're over 6 degrees above normal since the 1st of September. That is when we keep records for the fall season. Man, it's just another gorgeous day out there. 61 as of hour, a south wind of 13. It is a little bit breezy, but still, it is a fantastic day with lots of sunshine out there. Now, tonight is the Section 6 Championship at Highmark Stadium. Speaking of the Buffalo Bills Stadium, and Jamestown in the championship. They take on Williamsville North at 9 o'clock tonight, 58 degrees, 57 at halftime, and right around 57 by the fourth quarter. No weather hassles for tonight, and hopefully Jamestown will leave Highmark Stadium as the Section 6 champions. They've done it before many times, and hopefully we can pull out another championship win. Next week, the National Weather Service in Buffalo is holding new Skywarn training sessions. These are winter weather sessions, which means they focus on cold, lake effect, snow, icing, and that kind of deal. It is Tuesday at 7 o'clock in person up in Mayville at the county building at 2 Academy Street in Mayville, and you do have to register, so go to weather.gov/BUF/Skywarn to register for this training session. We need more spotters, and this is actually their first in-person session in Chautauqua County since COVID back in 2020. So please go to that. We need more spotters. Register. It's free to attend for all ages. More spotters are welcome. Now, big area of high pressure still in control across the Northeast, but we have a lingering cold front right back here. Something down here. You know what it is. It's Tropical Storm Nicole. Made landfall as a hurricane early this morning. Now it is on the Gulf side of the Florida peninsula. The panhandles here. This is the peninsula. And this is now a tropical storm with 50-mile-per-hour winds. And that's important for our weather for tomorrow. Here's the newest run of future scan showing you where the center of circulation is now. Watch it come up through the deep south and make a run up towards the northeast coast. This is right around 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Notice that tropical moisture spreading to the north, and we are ultimately going to see tropical rain showers through the day tomorrow and especially through early Saturday. And this is going to be heavy at times. We are looking at a potential flooding threat through the day on Friday as well. Actually, let's back up there. Let's take a look at some of those numbers. We could be looking at over 3 inches in spots. Now, again, don't take these numbers to the bank. Your number may vary, but still, we are looking at more than enough to cause some flooding issues across the region. Then behind that, it turns much colder as the cold front moves through, 46 and falling on Saturday. Lake effect snow develops Sunday through Monday, and we are going to stay well below average, Justin, through mid next week.
Yeah, we certainly have a whole buffet of weather here.
It's a smorgasbord.
Yeah, really, no kidding. Tropical rain, the temperatures tremble, lake effect. Those,
Yep.
if you need 3 phrases that describe.
Only in Western New York, folks.
Yeah, certainly, Dakota. Thank you very much. Well, let's get some headlines now from outside of our area. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, they're warning about a listeria outbreak linked to a deli meat and cheese. The agency investigating now 16 reports of such cases in many states, including New York. They say one person died and a pregnant person lost their baby because of it. At least 13 others received treatment at hospitals. The agency says most of the people who were sick reported eating meat or cheese from a deli counter where open packages of spiced deli meat are often kept. Now, investigators are working to connect all of the listeria strands behind the outbreak to specific products and or delis. We'll keep you updated. Well, the Supreme Court, they held a unique adoption case hearing that could have far-reaching implications for tribes and their sovereignty. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp was inside the Supreme Court during the arguments yesterday, and she has more from Washington.
This case focuses on an adoption case of a Native child with a non-Native family, but it's not quite as straightforward as that. Some are worried that this could have an impact on centuries-old legal status of tribal sovereignty. Now, here's a little bit of background on this case. The Indian Child Welfare Act, known as ICWA, was put into law by Congress to respond to concerns that Native children were being unnecessarily separated from their families and sent to boarding schools or placed in non-Native families. In this case, the Supreme Court heard a 4-year-old child, only known to the court as YRJ, is the focus of this case. YRJ is of Native ancestry, but the Brackeens, who are a non-Native family, are fighting with the Navajo Nation to adopt her. Now, in the arguments today, lawyers for the Brackeens argue that ICWA is unconstitutional because the law discriminates against Native children as well as non-Native families who want to adopt them because the law factors in race to determine where the child should be placed. But lawyers for the tribes told the justice that tribes are political entities, not racial groups. Now, some are worried that if justice ruled that tribal citizenship is based on race, ICWA could be struck down for violating equal protection rights of Native children and non-Native adoptive families. Protesters outside of the courthouse who are in favor of keeping ICWA are worried this ruling could do more than determine the fate of this 4-year-old and other Native children in foster care.
They're actually potentially very damaging to 200 years of legal precedent, a direct attack on tribal sovereignty.
The lawyers for the Brackenes argued in court that this case won't impact other aspects of tribal sovereignty, but justices fired off hypotheticals and questions about how their challenge could overlap other areas like tribal health. We expect the court to release their ruling on this case about summer of 2023. At the Supreme Court, Rachel Knapp reporting.
Well, the threat of a freight railroad strike has been avoided, at least for now. The third largest railroad union in the U.S. has been prepared to strike as soon as November 20th. A strike by any rail union would shut down America's major freight railroads. That's because all of the rail unions would honor their picket line. But all four major railroad unions announced yesterday they've agreed to coordinate the date on which they could potentially strike, and that would be sometime in December. Now, two unions rejected the tentative agreement reached with the railroads back in September, mostly over the lack of paid sick time in their contracts. Well, coming up next, construction of a new playground underway right now in Lakewood. Our Bronson Rasmussen joins me live with a look at the story behind this project, which, as you can see right there, has already taken shape.
WNY News Now is covering stories that matter to you.
Police and other local law enforcement agencies are looking for the person responsible for a shooting.
One of the benefits of this new feature is it not only works with the newer parking meters that the city's been rolling out, but these traditional meters as well.
From muddy trails to slick cliff edges to structures that have fallen into disrepair, these are just some of the problems that this park faces.
WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
Walking from Jamestown to Orchard Park is a long trek, but when rallying for a good cause, anything is possible. I'm Patrick Smeraldo, and I need your help to get there. Starting on November 11th, I'm walking over 60 miles to the Buffalo Bills Stadium, raising money for two great causes: Harrison's Playmakers and foster care in Chautauqua County. Harrison's Playmakers is a non-profit launched by former Buffalo Bills defensive tackle Harrison Phillips to connect kids with disabilities in sports. Furthermore, donations for this 3-day hike will also benefit CASA of Chautauqua County and the Stone family, who are assisting local foster care children during National Adoption Month. Learn more about my journey and to donate at ccsolutions716.com.
Well, a new playground is coming to the Richard Hartley Park in Lakewood. Our Bronson Rasmussen joins me live at the desk today with more on this exciting project that you got a first-hand look at this morning.
That's right, Justin. The $700,000 project is underway right now in 2 phases. Construction aims to transform the 2 platform play areas into a real gem for kids of all ages to enjoy.
So initially what is happening now is we're replacing all of the equipment on both pads. New equipment, new engineered wood chip surface. There's going to be hill slides built right into the hill between the 2 pads. Longest zip line in the region. That is phase 1. Phase 2 will involve creating handicap accessible pathways to the different paths.
The project to transform the decaying park has garnered tremendous support.
This whole project began with a fundraising effort among community members. That's really what got it off the ground. Allowed us to then secure some state funding as well.
With support within the community, the local development corporation was able to collect close to $200,000, leading to a grant of $450,000 from the state's Environmental Protection Fund Local Waterfront Revitalization Program grant.
It was huge, but yeah, it was really that community fundraise that enabled that, because they look at that. They look at that to judge if it's something the community really wants.
In the end, officials believe that the final touches to the park will be completed by the end of the year.
Yeah, this is such a cool thing for the community to have, and I wonder if kids will actually get a chance. I guess it depends on what the weather, right? If they'll be able to play on it now or next summer, but nevertheless, to hear, especially that zip line feature, I think you don't see those very often anymore.
Well, it's interesting because the park itself is on a hill.
Right.
So they have the 2 platforms. Right. And then they are going to have what sounds like a zip line and a slide connecting them.
Right. What a great way, too, to use that space and to work the environment into it, right? That's unique. You don't really see that, and it's a beautiful place over Chautauqua Lake. It really is. So the kids will be able to play. Parents maybe get some fishing done there. Maybe they'll eventually get the Lakewood Beach open, but that's a whole nother
can of worms.
grenade for sure. Bronson, thank you very much. Well, that is it for us today. We'll leave you with this live look over, speaking of Chautauqua Lake. We're back here tomorrow with our TGIF edition. We hope to see you then.